Hello, good morning, everybody. It is the morning time here. It is a beautiful day outside, and I am Shannon. So today we are going to talk about deconditioning conditioned love. So last time I talked about unconditional love and conditioned love, and then I talked about unconditional self love. So, how to love yourself unconditionally. And so now I'm going to talk about how to decondition yourself. So, in order to love yourself unconditionally, you have to be able to decondition all the conditions that we put on ourselves. So, that is why I'm here. um, so, when I talk about deconditioning, I like to use this analogy with like a wound. So, I'm just going to go with it. And because for me, that's how I have been kind of thinking and said, you know what? This actually works for a lot of our past traumas and a lot of stuff that we've conditioned ourselves in. So imagine that you have a wound, a really deep wound, and it's like a huge gash, and you have to go get stitches for it. And so if you were to have to get stitches, you wouldn't go and put a band-aid on it your whole entire life. You would actually go and get the stitches, you would get it cleaned up, you would get it opened up and healed, stitched up, so that it can heal properly. And then you would also take care of it, and so you would constantly be watching it, making sure that it's good. The same thing goes with all our traumas and all our own self, just in general. Like, you need to, if there's any wounds that are within, you can't just put a band-aid on it with a substance or a person. You can't just say, you know what, there's a big deep wound inside of me, but instead I'm just gonna drink it away, or I'm gonna go find someone who will fill that void for me. Instead of this, what you have to do is you have to open it up, open up all those deep wounds. It is gonna be very hard, and it's gonna bring up a lot of emotions, and that's okay. Are you hungry? Okay. Sounds good. I'll get you some breakfast, okay? Well, then, we're gonna come right back here again. This happened last time, and that's okay because that is parenthood. So, 1 second. Alright, we're back. She's got her breakfast, and we're good to go. Alright, so I was saying about opening up wounds and how when we open up wounds, it is going to be a little bit painful. You're gonna feel that stuff within, and that's okay. That is supposed to happen. You're supposed to feel feelings. You're not a robot. You have emotions. You're supposed to have those emotions. But the key to this thing is to allow those emotions to stay in that present moment. And so when you open up those old wounds, you're going to open them up. You're going to have so many emotions come. Don't hold on to those. Make sure that you allow those to come and sit with them. Give it as much time it needs, but when you're done, don't bring it onto your day. Don't keep dwelling on it, because that's how the past is brought in, and the past is constantly like a dwelling thing, and that's where depression happens, because a lot of people are dwelling in the past and they're thinking so much on the past they don't want to move in the future, or they don't even want to be in the present. It's not even about moving in the future, it's about being in the present. And so with this, so when you open up your wounds, you're going to have a lot of pain come through, and that's okay. That's how it's supposed to be, because imagine all these wounds and all this trauma has been just being a band-aid on it. So really, you've actually made it more infected. So imagine with a wound, when you get a deep cut, and if you were not to go and hey, gorgeous.
I want to sit here.
Yeah. This is so bad. This is like dripping everywhere. Like so on. No, I'm joking.
Mommy?
That was a bad joke. Yes, sweetie?
What did the coffee went everywhere?
I know. I was like, what is happening? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's get back to it. Hold on. I'm just ray of fucking sunshine today, guys. 1 second. That was good. Okay. So, back to it. I was talking about wounds, and so Imagine if you had a wound, a deep wound, and you did not get it cleaned, stitched up, or whatever. And so you just kept putting a band-aid on it. And imagine if you're just putting a band-aid on it, it's going to get infected, it's going to get gross, it's going to have stuff coming out. It's just going to be not good. And so imagine that with your inner wound. So imagine you have a traumatic experience, and instead of healing it and patching it up, like stitching it up, allowing it to be healed, then you would rather just put a band-aid on it. Like, let's say the band-aid are like substances, so like alcohol, drugs, people, even anything that you can get addicted to and it's numbing a pain. That is a substance or something that's taking you away. That's a band-aid, pretty much. And so let's say you put that band-aid on and what you're really doing is you're actually infecting it more, because you're not allowing it to heal, you're not allowing it that openness, you're not cleaning it, you're not doing anything, you're just putting a band-aid on. You're just like, I'm just gonna numb this pain, I'm just gonna keep putting that band-aid on. Once that band-aid falls off and you see the true self in yourself, you're like, oh shit, let's just find another band-aid to keep doing it. And that's not the case, and that's how we are conditioned, and that's how we move into more conditioned love, because we find someone that just sorry, I have some coffee on my screen. But that's how we find people who only love us for certain things, and that's why a conditioned love happens, because we have so much trauma, we have so much wounds that are just bandages, and so we are really not being truthful to ourselves, and we're not allowing ourselves to be loved unconditionally. We're not healing ourselves. So if we're not healing ourselves, how can we allow healed people to come into our life? So really, we're going to be always attracting people who are also infected. So we'll be bandaging their wounds while they bandage your wounds. And that's why deconditioning is so freaking important. That's why you have to decondition all that past trauma, all those past wounds, in order to move to an unconditional love, so that you can move forward with no traumas. You're gonna have the memories, and that's not something where you have to be depressed about, because all those memories and anything that's happened in the past is really just a stepping stone to get to a better you. And so with deconditioning, how we have to do this is we have to look at everything that's happened to us. We've got to go from a childhood. So go from when you were born, go from the very start of it all, the root of it all. Look at how you were treated as a child, how you were loved as a child. Look at all those things. And, when we do this, lean on people, lean on your support, lean on the people who will not judge you, because those people will be the support system and will help you through these times, because these times are hard. When you have to do all this work, it's not easy. And so community is there for that reason, because when you have all these past traumas come up, you're like, oh shit, why did that happen? And you go through all these questions in your mind. The best thing about these questions is to talk to them with people, because when you get these questions out, the universe is like, hey, I hear those questions. I'm going to come back to you through this other person and give you the insight you need. Because the universe, it's not able to fully talk to you right, like, hey, I'm going to talk to you. You can meditate and you can have the universe come within you, but the best way to get information, the information you need, is talking to people, because that is how you're able to let things flow. And as I said before in my other videos with connecting with people, how you connect with people is you talk with them. And if you open up those raw, really painful sides of you, you're opening up that side to that person so that they can connect to that and they can help you with that. And so when you're able to open up, and even another person, when you both are able to open up, you both are able to help each other heal those wounds. And it's not about healing it for that person, but it's about helping them to heal that wound. Oh, my nose is itchy, And so, yeah, so when you decondition the wounds, you have to open them up. And when you open them up, don't look at them as a bad thing. Look at them as, you know what? Why did this happen? Like, what was the main purpose? What was the main lesson? Because every single bad thing in your life that happens has a lesson to it. It has an understanding. There is something that is more deeper than it is. Even if someone died in your life, there is a bigger meaning to that, and you need to just look for it. And you don't settle, you don't think of the worst case scenarios. You don't think, oh, this happened to me because I'm a shitty person. No, it happened to you because there was something that you needed to figure out, and there's something that the universe is trying to tell you through this bad action. There's no bad action, so because everything has a good outcome and everything has good within it. And so when we're able to uncondition ourselves and we're able to move into a very unconditional side, we're able to let go of all these past traumas. And these past traumas is what holds us down and conditions us. And even with society has taught us that we have to be conditioned in certain ways. So like for especially with women have been conditioned to please men, be this really super cute thing that has to be super appeasable in the image so that men like them. Women have also been taught that we have to do so much more for a man to love us. We've also been taught that we have to cook and clean for the men. We have been taught so many different things. And I'm not just talking women. Men have been taught so many things too. Men have been taught that they have to be this macho, crazy, big, tough guy for a woman to love them. Men have also been taught that they are not supposed to show emotions because it's a weak sign. Men have also been taught that they don't need to give as much because themselves is enough, which is really crazy because women have to give too much. So it's like these things are such conditioned ways of living, and if we took all those conditions out and said, no, you know what? You do fucking you. You embrace you how you're supposed to embrace you. You love yourself how you're supposed to be embraced. You know what you want. You don't have to people please. You don't have to be a macho man. You can cry. You can. All these things that we've been conditioned, that is what I'm talking about, unconditioning. And those are the things that we have to really look into. And that's why journaling is so important. Talking to people is so important because you open up. You open up all that stuff. And that's what I mean with wounds. You have to open them up before. Hold on, my battery says it's going to die soon. 10%. I'm going to get my charger. So I will be right back. 1 second.
Oh.
Yes, you are. Okay. Okay. Oh. My things. Okay. So we're back.
Mom, are you gonna get me a drink?
Oh. I almost forgot. 1 second, my love.
What the heck, Mom? You moved your pillow.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Is it juice?
No, it's water today, sweetie.
Oh.
You can't have juice all the time.
What?
You can't have juice all the time. All right. There you go. Do you want to sit on the table, sweetie, so you don't spill it?
What, this?
Yeah.
No.
Please.
You can put over near the sink.
Here, how about we sit on the table, okay? Because then you can sit right beside me. Because I'm over there anyways.
Can you put my chair near you?
I can put it right close to me. Right here. Does that work out? There you go. How about that? Here. There we go, my love.
What?
I said, there we go, my love. All right.
Mama, love ya.
I love you so much, sweetie. Okay. So we're back. Okay. So, I was talking about conditioning. Give me 1 second. I gotta reel it back. Well then, we're just gonna go and forget about what I was talking about, and I will probably get back to it. Who knows? So, moving forward with deconditioning, I really think that you gotta open up. You gotta open up all those wounds, and you gotta clean it. Clean up all those wounds, heal them, and talk to people who are there for you. Talk to people who want to be there for you, and don't think that you have to do this all for yourself and all by yourself. I mean, not for yourself. It should all be for yourself, but you don't have to do this all by yourself. There is so many people, so much support that will be there. I'm here if you ever need me. We can go through all your past traumas together, but just remember that in order to move out of all these deconditioning, that's where I was talking about how men and women are conditioned. And so imagine if we were unconditional and unconditioned out of all of these things that we were conditioned into talking and into, then we would be able to love each other so unconditionally. We wouldn't be thinking, oh, well, you're a woman, you have to do all this for me. Or you're a man, so you must be macho. And so we would just be like, hey, you know what? You're you. You're whoever you are. Let me love you for who you are. And we would also look for people who resonate with us instead of just looking at a person saying, hey, they're a good looking person, I'm just going to go for them to put that band-aid on myself, you know? You would know what you want. You would know who you want. You would know your boundaries. You would know so much more about yourself because you have gone within yourself. You have taken off all those band-aids. You've healed yourself, and now you know what you want. And that's why deconditioning yourself is so important, because then you can unconditionally love yourself, and you can allow other people to unconditionally love yourself, because you yourself know what you want, and you yourself know who you are within, because you don't have all these bandages painting you up and making you someone that you're not. You have all these healed wounds, and you've healed them yourself, and so you know how you work, you know what you want, and all this good stuff. And so that's why it is really good to decondition, and you have to decondition yourself out of all of this stuff. You've got to move into a more unconditional love space, and you've got to move towards loving yourself and loving who you are. And that is where I'm gonna go from here, because I feel like I'm just rambling now. So I will see you guys next time.